escaped into the sky where I can see you. Yeah, it's all a dream. All your shaking, blaming lies do not faze me. Oh, the intro worked this time. Christian, BJ, Brandon, Trueblood. Brandon hadn't been streaming for a while. I noticed that. Went to his, I think today you streamed, but it'd been a few. Hopefully you had some good R&R. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A little bit about, a little change of topic. We'll change the topic today about why retiring to another country might be ideal for MGTOW men. Good to see Megatron as well. Why would it be ideal to another country? Now, some might not agree. If those people are interested in learning about expat living, I have not fully embraced it because I'm selling my house, but I've spent several years working and living in certain places, and why I've decided to move south. I do also think that Southeast Asia, specifically Thailand or Cambodia or Vietnam, are also good locations to go to as well. All right, let's see what we got. Brandon, what does Brandon say? I had a medical misinformation. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're doing good. Now, outside of that, we can talk about a couple things. So we'll talk about this dream on living in South America, Central or South America. That's what I know. That's the culture I know. That's the language I know. And that's what I understand the most. If I went to Asia, I would have to study Asia, understand it, watch a lot of videos. I don't know. The culture might not be for me just because the Asian culture I'm not very familiar with. But other people might have gone, liked it, enjoyed it. And I think there's certain things that we have to keep in mind if we decide to go as a MGTOW person living a life of peace, quiet, and freedom, and why that makes sense for me to go to Mexico. I know several of you guys have asked about my thoughts on retiring to a different country, and so this is great. Christian says the Philippines is nice, Rad. I've heard good and bad things about the Philippines. If I was to go to Southeast Asia, most likely I would not go and live in the Philippines. I might visit, but I think Thailand and Vietnam also offer really, I'd probably pick Thailand, but not outside of the tourist cities. Good to see Gerald. Hope you're doing well, brother. Appreciate you here. Huh. Of course. They're all going that way, brother. Mega says I'd expat to Mexico. Brandon said, I lived in Vietnam for a year and they viewed all foreigners as pedo. Yeah, well, I'm sure they do. And there is also a stigma of expat men going to other countries where they potentially might have more value. I know Brandon has lived in Ukraine and shared some of his experience of living in Ukraine. I would probably never go to Europe. The only place I might go would be Italy, northern Italy, or Portugal. Maybe Spain, but those are very expensive countries now. Different, lots of liberals in them. But we'll keep this chat about South and Central America, specifically Central America. They are crazy. Let's see, what does Christian say? Thailand, Vietnam is still the same thing. Better healthcare in Thailand. Better healthcare. Vietnam is pretty clean out here. I've seen some great things about Da Nang. But there you go. Japan, I'd love to go to Japan. You'd have to look less touristy. I wonder if you can live pretty cheap in Japan. Apparently, there's homes on the countryside that are selling for dirt cheap because all of the older generation are dying. They can't find anyone to buy them. All Seeing Otto is here. Good to see you. Retro Shadow says, thoughts on Mexico's new president? There's a lot of Jewish people in Mexico. They're called Judíos. It's not uncommon to see Jewish people both in Central and South America. As far as a woman president, is she going to be able to stop the people that manufacture certain things that are not legal? She's probably in their pocket. It's a corrupt country, unfortunately, but so is America. Is America becoming corrupt? Have we just seen it last week? Brandon says, looking at Chile. Chile's got some good stuff too. Argentina would be good once they get the economic situation fixed. Uruguay is expensive. Paraguay, I've heard some good things. Southern Brazil, I don't speak Portuguese. I could probably learn it. Portugal has got, or Southern Brazil has got some great areas that are very inexpensive to live. But here, let's get into some of these things. All Sing Auto says, it is not cheap to live in Japan. I didn't think it was. Well said, Christian. And we help each other in these chats. So when you guys said, I've lived in Vietnam or I've lived in Ukraine or Japan, this is good information for all of us. I'll share with you South and Central America because I've lived in both. Or I've lived in South America. I've spent time both in Central America as well. Bangkok, Gerald, looks beautiful. And I love Thai food. And I think Thai women are attractive as well. So, and I love the tropical part of it. I don't know, it might be too hot for me. I know that a lot of foreigners now go get medical treatment there. They have probably better healthcare than the United States. They don't have all the FDA regulations. I've been in healthcare for 20-something years. I understand it. And Blue Cross and Blue Shield, which are health insurance companies here, the two largest, are sending, you can go and get a procedure done in Thailand, all expenses paid, no deductibles if you go see their Thailand hospital. So there's a lot of good value in there. It's inexpensive to get healthcare in other places of the world. We have very expensive healthcare in the United States due to tort reform. We're paying malpractice. Half of the bill from our healthcare specialists is based on their malpractice insurance. Chinese women seem to be a very nice place. China, there's attractive Chinese women. I just don't have a desire to ever go to China. I don't know. I've never had that. Some people might see the Great Wall and all the history. It's never been, if anything, I'd like to go to Korea, Japan, and those Southeast Asian. My ex-wife is a Japanese, a cold, heartless B-word. All seeing auto. Dang. I don't know if it's going to happen there, Christian. Mega pad thai, pad fet, curries. I love the curries. Brandon says, I wish I moved to Belize as we knew it growing up, which was British Honduras. Free slave mine in the house. I wonder if any Skittles. I'm sure there's Skittles, but China will come down. So let's talk about it. Number one, if you are going to go anywhere, you need to know the culture. It's not about going and saying, I love Thai food, I want to move to Thailand. You need to understand the culture. How do people mingle? How are families set up? How is business done? If you need to go down to the pharmacy, what is it like? Are they on time? Is there delivery systems, the infrastructure there? You need to understand about the culture. And there's lots of countries that have wonderful infrastructure, wonderful technology. Panama being an amazing country with the best banking infrastructure, which means the best secure, very high level of security, internet, and so forth. I just don't have a desire to go to Panama. I think it's too overrun with gringos based on the Panama Canal and so forth. But you got to know the culture. And hopefully you know the language. If you have to get by on a translator, I would say don't go. Or just learn the language as much as you can. I mean, immerse yourself in the language and the culture. If you've been to a place and you like it, people that have been to Japan that love it and they want to move back, learn Japanese. Learn everything you can about the culture. I think most people give up and they come back. You hear all these stories. They're coming back from Thailand, Philippines, and Mexico because they don't understand the culture. They don't understand. It's not America. You don't move to another country and bring America with you. This is how you suffer. The guys that I stayed with in South America that hated it were eating McDonald's every day. They couldn't understand the culture of people. You have to understand the festivities, how they live, how they act, how they greet one another, how they get together, what they're like. We're different here. Every country's different. So that's number one. And first and foremost, know the culture and hopefully know the language, or know as much as you can and keep learning that language every day. They can all change their mind, brother. That's for sure. Christian Bookshelf says, I'm going to Iceland for the next eclipse. Iceland sounds cool. Apparently I hear it's extremely expensive. Even to learn that language is probably crazy, but they probably speak English. Mysterio, do you ever do your own noodle concoctions with your own sauce? It's funny that you said that because I make a Venezuelan dish with noodles, mayonnaise, and ketchup. No joke. That's what they eat. A lot of it. It's spaghetti with ketchup and mayonnaise. And that's considered fry sauce, if you know what fry sauce is. But no, I need to learn more about making noodles and pasta with spices. I'm not good at that. Stephen, Arizona, checking in. Hopefully I haven't missed much yet, Stephen. I have a friend traveling in Asia now, in Cambodia. He says it's 39 degrees. Fahrenheit? No, 39 degrees Celsius. I heard, yeah, some of those places are hot as hell. Can you deal with heat? I've been in very hot places, so I can deal with it. And you got to find a way. I mean, number one, you've got to want to do this. You just don't move someplace because it's cheaper, you know, and then you can live and retire. You got to want to do it. You got to desire to live a life that's different, that might bring peace, quiet, and freedom, a more simpler life. You know, I look at my expenses here in this house. I have to pay an HOA fee every month. The utilities for one man is the same as a family of 10, right? And it is what it is. So you got to look at, you want to do it. You want to learn the culture. You want to learn the language. 100%, Gerald. When in Rome, do like the Romans do. Brandon Trueblood. Iceland would be cool to visit. It would really be cool. I think going to Italy would be fun. There's something magical in my mind about Italy, like eating pasta, bread, red wine, riding around on a Vespa. In that TV show Ripley on Netflix, it seems romantic, not in a romantic like love way, just like just a very I don't know, like a blast from the past. But I could be wrong because I've never been. Gotcha. It's not that great of a place. Will's Export Adventure says, I'm looking at Germany for the short term, then Spain or Portugal for retirement. There you go. I think Spain and Portugal, more so. I heard Portugal is a really cool destination, but a lot of gringos and Canadians were going there. I have a beachfront property in Arizona for anybody who believes in fairy tales. Oceanfront property in Arizona, Free Slave Mine. That was a country song my mom used to listen to. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. You know what's interesting about these YouTube videos, Christian, is some of them are done in very, positive limelights. They remove the true reality of living. And I'm saying, if you don't know the culture or the language, you're fucked. Like, you're not going to have a good time. It's going to be difficult to meet people. It's going to be difficult. I'm not saying ladies, just meet your neighbors and get to know the culture, because that's a good thing. And getting around the country, you got to know the culture, how to get. Do the buses come on the hour or are they late all the time? It's finding out those nuances. And here's another thing. If you want to say, I want to go to Mexico, Mexico's getting more expensive, especially the larger cities. You'd want to go to places that are, good to see you, JR, that are less popular. They're in the pueblos. Pueblos are villages, right? Small little towns. They're maybe 20 minutes from the coast instead of on the coast. Right? Finding places like that where a lot of people don't go. Most expats go to expat areas, which is basically the United States of Mexico or the United States of Mexico, Colombia. El Poblado in Colombia is where all the expats are. That's where all the Dairy Queens are, Burger Kings, Subways, and all of them. Why do they go there when all of those expat living potentials are bringing the prices up and you're not escaping anything? Go someplace where you can learn something new. Megatron, visit the hot springs. So I want to do a motorcycle trip in Scotland. That'd be fun. Otto. That'd be fun. You also have to consider the direction of the country you want to move to. Definitely avoid socialist, commie countries. Need a place that is, yes, 100%. Or that has good relationships with the United States. JR, I want to go down to Cali or Rosarito that first. We're headed down there, brother. You're going to have to join us. Laredo, too. Save enough money to travel the world. Now, here's one thing. Why do I want to go to South and Central America? I've been there. I've lived there. I've traveled multiple countries. So I understand it. So if you haven't been, go travel. Get out and do something. Mysterio says, Japan, England, Ireland, Hawaii, Scotland, Greece, New Zealand would be where I'd like to see. I'd probably stay away from Hawaii. It's whacked. Oprah land. If you know how to count, ask for the bathroom, and know the words for hello, goodbye, beef, chicken, and pork, you can get by anywhere. There you go. And Brandon knows he lived in Ukraine. Didn't you? I think you taught English too. Want to get laid and have a good time? I've said this before. Go to Estonia or Latvia. Interesting. Jorn. Good to see Jorn. Our brother. In Scandinavia, I got Vietnam, Cuba, Sri Lanka, Ethiopia on my MGTOW list to visit. Vietnam, Cuba. I think you can go to Cuba because you're not American. I think we have trouble. Sri Lanka, I heard is cool. Ethiopia, don't know much about it. That'd be fun. I think some African countries would be fun. But again, know the culture, desire to be there, want to be there is a key. You got to, this is the problem with most expats. I just mentioned it a few minutes ago. Most go because they don't want to spend tons of money. And then they realize they don't like it. They can always move back, but you got to at least want to be there. I would like to go to England. I've never been, although my ancestors are there. Travis is back. Good evening, Rad. Been a while. Staying super busy in the shop. Good for you. Custom painting a Turbo Road Glide. 100K. Woo! I got to see a picture of that, brother. Good to have you. Check out Travis's Curious Syndicate. Coming out with new music. ¿Dónde está la zapatería? Zapatería. I don't know where the shoe shop is. Come on now. I learned a foreign language using short stories and audio, such as with a linguaphone. Great program. There you go. The best way to learn any language is to listen to music or the television and read it. More importantly, listen to music, watch the television and the language. That is how you learn it. You do not learn it in books, and you learn it on the street. Why? Because I did it that way. And you have your handy dictionary. There you go, brother. You got your Beamer. I've heard that Kenya's got wonderful. I've had Ethiopian food, I think in Chicago. I thought it was really good. Nice spicy chicken. Stephen from Arizona. My coworkers live worldwide. All the usual passport bro locations to Southeast Asia. The only one they said isn't ruined by Westerns. That's what I've heard. Yeah, I would stay out of those big Medellin. I wouldn't go to Medellin. That's where El Poblado is. It's full of gringos, Bogotas. You got to stay out. You got to go to smaller places. You got to live local. What does that mean? So if you're expat and you like your Snickers and your Skittle bars, or Three Musketeers and your soda pops and your fountain pops and your Carl's Jr. and what have you, and most likely that's not going to exist. Or if it is, it's extremely expensive. So to keep your finances well put and to eat better, you got to live local. You got to eat local food. You got to shop locally. You can't shop at gringo stores. Remember, to live to live as an expatriate in a different country, you have to embrace the culture, the food. Now, you can still eat American food, but if you eat it every single day, and you're shopping at American supermarkets, which is double and triple the price, or going to restaurants that cater to Americans, you're going to go through income very quickly. It's double or triple, if not the same. I learned Spanish through music. There you go, Gerald. That's the best way to learn it. I know a homeboy, he's a former Army grunt. He's in Da Nang with 2 girlfriends, but he's happy. Da Nang looks dope. That picture I put up today is the Colombian beach outside of Santa Marta. I've been there. It's a public beach that closes at 4:00 every day. You got to hike for 2 hours to get to it. But that kind of Da Nang looked like that. 4 different languages. I'm sure we're going to find Skittles all over too. There you go. Brandon says, I learned Russian by watching cartoons. Wolf and Hare was my favorite. There you go. Again, how do you learn Russian? How do you learn these? By listening to music, television, or just, trying to speak it. It's very stressful, brother, having kids. Japanese through anime. There you go. I just had pozole with pig's hooves. Dang. I'm interested in Eastern Europe or South America. Eastern Europe is tricky depending on when this Ukraine BS ends. El Salvador. I even like Nicaragua. Not San Juan del Sur, which is basically America in Nicaragua. And you don't want to be on the Mosquito Coast, which is the Caribbean side, but you want to be up by Leon and outside of Managua. And I think they only have 5,000 expats that live in Nicaragua, but very safe country. Don't listen to what they say on the news. There you go, Gerald. Live to 300 in a little village. FJT, what's up? Salute to you, brother. He knows a thing or two about traveling. Brother Rad was watching Ace Combat and the F-14 Tomcat literally destroyed. Well, there you go. That's a big old jet. Russia, people like Russia. I don't know. There's something about it. That's not on my bucket list to visit. Maybe someday if I get older and there's a lot of great Russian Tolstoy and some serious literary legends. Wouldn't mind seeing the Kremlin, maybe having some vodka in a sauna, what have you. But there you go. A Sicily village. Yeah. I've even heard upstate or northern Italy has inexpensive housing and so forth. But again, could I live in Italy? I don't know. Sounds cool, but I don't know. Argentina, not Chile. Chile's got some interesting places. Peru is cool. Would be cool to go. A lot of people think Peru is full of Indians, 4'5", big heads, dark, very non-flattering features. There's a lot of European influence in South America. A lot of Spanish, Españoles, that came in the 1600s. So you're going to see green eyes. You're going to see maybe some blue eyes, light-skinned, caramel color and so forth. Mysterio, when you visiting a new country, don't get into the politics. It may cause you chaos. Yes. Stay out of the politics. Just enjoy their culture. When someone comes to our country and loves it, we get excited about that. When we go to a country and love eating, when I took my boys to Mexico, we did not eat at one place was an Italian place, which is one of my favorites down in the Cabo area, but we ate off the beaten strip in Mexican restaurants where the other people were Mexican. That's where they eat. Better food, cheaper, more of an experience. I'd love to go to Russia, but I think those chances are ruined in my background. Yeah, you definitely are high level in that regards, brother. Jordan, there's a French guy on YouTube channel called Kino Eves, cycling from France to South Africa on a tri-bike. Damn, 13,000 miles, still going strong. He went through Iraq. Wow. Oh, be safe. Good for him. Best phrase to use on your ex when she thinks she can just walk right back into your life. You're crazy in Arabic. I'll have to learn that. I was also traveling to see if I wanted to retire in a different country in the future. I visited some cool places, but so far I can't see myself permanently moving to another country. Time will tell. Yeah, maybe as you get older. He's got a F-16 model kit. Did you go to Tammy's Hobbies for that? South America are really passionate about there's some wonderful South American rock bands. I know a ton of them. But again, that's understanding the culture, understanding the national music, getting to love the national dish. Countries have national dishes. I don't know what our national dish is in America. Steak and potatoes, a hamburger, I don't know. But in Venezuela, it's pabellón. In Colombia, it's bandeja paisa. In Guatemala, it's pepillon, which is a soup. In Nicaragua, it's vidrigon. So every country has a national dish of some sort. You got to understand that. You got to get involved. Christmas time, lots of different festivities. In Venezuela, at Christmas time, at 12 o'clock, not New Year's Eve, at 12 o'clock, everybody cries and eats 12 grapes or 12 olives, and they all cry. And then they eat pan de jamon, which is ham bread. And that's what they do. And ayacas, which are corn tamales folded in banana leaves. Every Christmas, basically that is their Thanksgiving, right? So our Thanksgiving, we eat turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and rolls and salad. And every year on the 25th or the Thanksgiving. And so you got to know your culture and you got to like it. You got to experience it and just be like a kid in a candy store and be excited about tasting something new. I think that'll go a long way. Found it for $5. Attaboy. Carl's back. Carl's thinking about Southeast Asia. Life Beyond the Sea YouTube channel just posted a video on why he left for the Philippines after having gone through 2 divorces, financial loss, and a general malaise about living in California. Yeah, I think a man that goes his own way would do much better understanding the culture and learning the language. Absolutely. I think I think the locals will look at you different. But I think those are the 3 issues. Live local. Now, here's another thing. I wouldn't buy any property unless you really are going to be there for a long time. I'm renting. I'm going to rent a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment, $250 to $300 a month, fully furnished. Internet's $11 a month. Cell phones $8 a month. Fresh food and vegetables from the market, not from Costco. Eat out a couple times a week. Take the public bus. Maybe have a bicycle, electric bicycle, or just a bicycle that's cheap. If it gets stolen, well, it gets stolen. I can buy another one. And then understand the bus system. These bus systems in Central and South America, and they have Uber too. You don't need to buy a car and spend all that car. Potentially, it'll get hit and robbed or stolen. Steven says, I love my blank, and overseas there's only a small list of countries that allow foreigners to own them. I would have to move to a war-torn. Yeah, that's another thing. You can't take a lot of the things that we have here as our freedom. Lots of places you can live very well for as little as $1,000 a month. Yep, Georgia, Albania, Croatia, Romania. Thanks for shit. Yeah, $800 to $1,000 you can live great in Mexico, unless you're living in expat areas, like very expensive touristy. You don't want to do that. You're not moving someplace to take your existing life with you. Does that make sense? Los tostones. I love tostones. Fried plantains dipped in guacamole. I dream of leaving the U.S. just to escape the memory of my ex. Expensive, but lingers on my mind. Maybe once my child turns 18. I think one of the biggest draws for me, thanks, Christian. I think one of the draws is just the experience of living somewhere else, doing something new. Now, post-divorce, post-raising kids, empty nester, with the ability to do so. That, to me, is exciting. Do I love riding my mountain bike, riding my skateboards, going to 7-Eleven, getting a soda pop, my stomping? Yes, but am I growing as a person? Pablo! Everyone, I'm Argentine, moved to Australia, chasing my ex, been through family court, parental alienation, been through hell, learned English the hard way, crazy woman or no wife. Good to see you, Pablo. Absolutely. Pa'lante. Stay safe. Moved to Australia from Argentina. Wow. Talk about a flight. If moving to another country, make sure you do your research. I hear many third world countries may charge you double, triple. Yes, that's understanding the culture. Well said, FJT. You got to understand the culture. I remember I was in Guatemala, and I speak Spanish very well. I've spoken in the streets of Venezuela and Colombia for 2 years. I know it. I majored in it when I came back. I have no problem. And in Guatemala, we're going across the lake, which is Lago Atitlan, which is an amazing place with volcanoes, huge, one of the biggest lakes in Central and South America. But they take boats from the little pueblos. Some of the pueblos speak Mayan or Suhil, which is the primary language of Guatemala. And the guy tried to charge me double. And I'm like, beat it. And he couldn't get it past me because I spoke Spanish. I just didn't speak gringo español, por favor. Donde está la comida, cerveza y mi agua? Mi camisa está dry. No, I spoke it. Parlante como elefante, estamos en el barco, necesitamos llegar a San Pedro, right? And they couldn't pull a fast one. So that is a great point, FJT. Now, if I went to Vietnam, I don't think I could get through because I don't understand the Asian culture like that. Brandon says, hire a grandmother to clean your place once a week and do your shopping. Well said. And you can hire people to do your washing for $2 a load. They fold it, take the stains out. so forth. Been in 58 countries myself. Most beautiful ladies I saw on holiday in Odessa, Ukraine. They seem to have amazing firm press. Not sure what's left nowadays of the country. I think Brandon Trueblood could definitely agree with you, Jordan. He says they have the most beautiful women there. Life is good not having women dragging you down. Single life is good, says Retro. Well said. I too love the Second Amendment, and I too am a part of that Second Amendment. I'm going to have to leave them to my sons or to my sister until my sons move out because their mother is a libtard now. I am John. Good to see you, brother. Ira, what's your thoughts on Vietnam and considering going there for? I think Vietnam is great. I've heard wonderful things. Vietnam and Thailand, I think you could visit Da Nang. I was watching a channel and the place looks clean, safe. The food looks amazing. And they were showing condo apartments, 1-2 bedroom apartments in these beautiful brand new condos with rooftop pools for like $200 a month, 2 blocks from the beach. But, and I've thought about that, I am John. What could I deal? I would have to go visit. It's also hot there. That's one thing. The heat in Southeast Asia is probably much hotter than South America because of the humidity. Now, there are places that are humid. Baja is more of a dry heat. A little bit of humidity, but Guatemala is 70 degrees year-round. So it just depends on where you're at. But Southeast Asia, I think the heat, I could get used to it because I've been in very, very hot places. But again, the culture would be something. I would probably gravitate to more. If I moved to Vietnam, I would probably want to be in like Da Nang, find a nice place to live, start building my network of people. But I don't know the Vietnam language, and I think it would be tough for me to learn it. I would learn it the best as I could, but I would have to spend a lot of time really learning and understanding the culture. I really don't know Southeast Asia in that regards, and so that is why I'm pushing myself to go to one of the many countries in Central or South America. But yeah, Da Nang, I think, would be the best place for me if I was to retire to Vietnam. Da Nang. You met an old school Yaqui Indian near Mexicali. There you go. I met a bunch of Indians, real Indians that their first language is Mayan or Guajiro in Venezuela, and their second language is Spanish. And they're literally like 4'5" tall, 4.5 feet tall. Their head was the size of a bowling ball with crap in their face, dense, and like you could tell it had been pierced multiple times. So if you move to Mexico, your financial specs are already mapped out. Yes. When they see you're white, how will you be able to control your rent? Because I can speak it and I can understand. I'm not going to live in any area that is gringo land. I know exactly what to pay for, at least the people I've spoken to. And I'm going to get to know the people first. I might Airbnb it for 2 months, $15 a night. Airbnb, a little 1-bedroom till I know the players. When I was in the DR, they charged me double of what the bill was supposed to be, but that was my fault for not properly double checking. A lot of scams in rental cars. That's one thing you guys got to be careful of. Pay in cash if you can. You'll see charges on your credit card, especially going to gas stations, which is a known scam in Mexico. When you put your credit card in and they charge you double. So you want to pay with cash, most of these certain things. This is one, if the only channels that we can talk about anything, algorithms be damned. Attaboy, Mysterio. Used to work at a place, everybody and their mother had a stolen social that was from the Dominican and was given. Jeez. Yeah. I locked all my credit. My credit is completely locked. So I would assume if, guys, you need credit, open it. If not, lock it. Go freeze it. It's free. That's what I was thinking about Da Nang. Yep, Da Nang, I think, to me, would be the place I would go. And then if I went to Thailand, it would be, what's the place? It's not Bangkok. It's outside of Pattaya. And I'd probably get a little scooter. Timothy Sokol, good to see you, brother. All the way from Southern California. Christian, very, very good point. Make sure you're aware of your travel. Yes. I would get a WhatsApp, get their local SIM cards, right? $10 a month or whatever, and then have a WhatsApp so people from the US can get you. A lot of the US cell phone providers, they might let you say it's roaming, but yeah, after 2 months they're cutting you off. So you got to figure out something to do with your number. I just get a new number. I've had several friends live in Ukraine pre-war, and they all left bitter because of the Ukrainian poontang. Well, did they go for Ukraine poontang? That's probably the reason, and they got screwed over. I'm saying, as a man going his own way, go someplace where you want an experience. Don't go for ladies. Enjoy it. Get to know the area, the culture. Immerse yourself in the language and the new sights and the new experience. Remember, when we change our environment, it changes everything about our neurocircuitry. That is why we keep saying you got to move your energy. There you go. I am John Knows. He's been scammed at gas stations in Baja. Yep. Vagabond Awake is a great channel. I've seen that for expat. He's the white guy with the Asian girlfriend, I think. Well said, Carl. I've seen a bunch of his stuff. He's been all over South, Central, Asia, Europe. He's got a cool channel. Thailand, stay away from the tourist areas and areas of high prosty. You want to go to the countryside. Exactly. If you're going to a country, do not go to the tourist areas. That's where you get scammed. That's where you get taken. No, I'm not going to do anything. I don't know. I mean, my boss, I don't really need, unfortunately, once I sell this, I'm not going to be in a position where I need to work full time. What my plan is when I get down there, this is my plan. You guys want to hear my plan? So I'm going to sell the house and put my important things, my history of life, not my furniture, I'm selling all that crap, into a little storage unit, 50, 60 bucks a month. I'm going to get my 4Runner and overland. I'm going to drive down Baja. From here to La Paz, it's 1,500 miles. Yes, never bring up, don't deal with foreign women unless you've made camp. And this is not about getting foreign women, this channel. All right. There's plenty of how to get foreign lady channels. We're talking about what I would do. So I would drive down, take a couple weeks, visit every little nook and cranny of the Baja on the Sea of Cortez side. I don't care about the Ensenada Pacific side. Maybe I'll cut over to Guerrero Negro or whatever. Who knows? But I've been the last quarter part of Cabo, certain areas. So drive down, live out of my 4Runner, go to campsites, meet other people, just take my time. And then get down to La Paz, which is where I want to be, in Mexico, that place. And then find a place to rent. I'm going to rent 1 month. My first month, I'm going to rent 1 month. I'm going to see how I like it. And I got to have a carport as well. But, and then I'm going to teach English for free somewhere and meet people that way. And then if people want, because I got my teaching English certificate, and then people want, private lessons, fine, whatever. But I want to give back by giving free lessons of English because I can speak their language and I taught and so forth. And then meet people that way and just understand the culture more and more and more. And I think that's the way, and get involved. That's the key. Jam Thai, I think that's it. Carl. Pattaya has been overrun by Russians through and causing issues. Tim Newton today does a great job. Yeah, I mean, maybe visiting Pattaya for a night or two, but that's it. Correct, Brandon. That's what I would do. Maybe teach it for the locals, and then if people wanted to definite. My plan was always to teach it to business people, very high worth individuals in South America or Mexico. Watch Big Daddy multiple times this week. So nostalgic for me. I miss those days. Can't stand this new world. It's good to see you, Simone. It's a different world we live in. Let's see. Oh, I'm missing. All right, you guys quit typing so much. Brad, would you ever learn a new language besides Spanish? Sure. Wouldn't mind learning Arabic, Portuguese, maybe some German. Make sure I drink a lot of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. Brad, what's up? Never trust a mom of an Adam or Jaden. Trust Ishi, especially a Jaden. Good to see you, Ishi. It's been a while. Ishi down in LA. WHO, good to see you. Marty Bernard is back. Where's Marty been? Timothy Sokol says single-handed a Cal 30 sloop from Pedro to the Sea of Cortez. There you go. How my ex is going to try to reach out or stalk me anyway when I move out of the U.S. in several years and lose my internet presence forever. There's something about being unable to talk to. SCE, good to see you, brother. C of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know, she's a dipshit, but, you know, she's not bad looking, I'll tell you that. I love the Baja. You'll see me down there. Well, once I'm down there, we will have to meet up. I am John. Beer is on me. FJT says, I agree, Rad. Recommend guys to travel, not for women, but if one comes along, cool. The ladies in my travel videos just so happen to meet them and they offer to buy me food. There you go. Well said. Don't travel for women. That's that you'd be called passport bro. You're gonna get this. It's female nature, universal female nature. We're traveling for experience and get to know who we are internally. I'm not sure, Mysterio. Let's just say I get down there. I'm gonna have my Forerunner. If I don't like it, I just drive back. Would you change your plates? No, you can't get new plates on a. You cannot bring a U.S. made car into Mexico. It's very difficult. They call those out of country. But I can drive my plated car as long as the plates are actively, you know, I have the current tags. But if I get to a point where I don't drive my car, I'll come back and sell it. I don't know about that, but it's typical. A lot of these girls are going Skittle, Christian. That's for sure. I was thinking of learning local games. Yeah, that's another thing. Learn the local games, local culture, local festivals, local, you know, concerts. Listen to the music, even mariachi. Go to a mariachi event if you're in Mexico. Or, you know, a merengue event if you go to Dominican. Or salsa, which is, you know, a lot of Central, South American, Caribbean. Yep. And that's another thing. You got to understand the systems. Their water systems are different, right? God dang it. Their toiletry system is different. Some places you can't even flush the toilet paper. Jordan says, love Vietnam, friendly people here in Holland. Hardly anybody's laughing. The atmosphere is changing. What are you thinking, Jordan? Are you going to move out? The water supply in Britain isn't really that bad. Wasn't really that bad. Tastes so bad. Here it's not very good in Utah. It's hard water. Seraphin, good to see you, brother. She looks like a donkey. I don't know. She's got a nice rack on her, though. Pattaya is not overrun with Russians. It is Phuket. If you go to Thailand and you are older, Huan is a nice area. Oh, Clown World, Hong Kong. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. So Hua Hin, I'll check that out. Yeah. We knew that was going to happen, Christian. Phil says adjusting to warmer clones may make you sick. Climates until you adjust, it's like a fun and away as your body. Yep. I got sick when I first went to South America, and luckily I did not get dengue fever, but I did get sick getting used to everything. Gone with John is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Check out Gone with John's channel, True Blood's channel. Who else channel we got on here? I knew what you're saying, Phil. It was climate. Giving passport to the ladies. Don't go for the ladies. Jordan says, Vietnamese don't dislike Americans. They dislike Chinese, ruthless business dudes to them. Interesting. I heard that Japan does not like any other Asian culture. I could be wrong, but I heard that. Does anybody agree with that statement? Local music is great. Drink the local beers. Live like them. The way I made it in Venezuela 91 to 93 was by living like them. I washed my clothes like them. I ate like them. I listened to their music. I learned their customs, their slang. That's how you do it. John with John, the Donkey Show. You guys are crazy. Freaky FJT. Here's a guy that's traveled, learned the language. Look at his videos. Check out FJT's channel where he's actually speaking Chinese and Spanish and other languages as he goes to these countries. This is the guy that is living exactly what we're talking about. If he ever moves, he will have the upper hand because he's been to places, learned their culture. Oh, and the other place you went to was Egypt. Learn the language before you travel. Well said, brother. That's what I heard, Christian. They don't like the Koreans and the Vietnamese and the Filipinos. The other countries hate Japan. I just want to go stay in a little capsule hotel and play pachinko and have sake and take my camera. Do as Romans do until, well, WHO, well said, brother. Thailand is very easy to stay for a long time if you have money. Vietnam is not that easy to stay for a long time. Da Nang is nice, but kind of boring after you are there for a month. That's another thing. Go there and visit. Yeah, that's great. Great advice, Clown World. Yeah, at least Japan didn't lock down most levels. So that's another thing. How do you stay unbored? How do you stay unbored? Right? Good to see Sotnar in the chat. I skipped over you, brother. My eyeballs are my eyes are crazy, driving me crazy. Don't go chasing waterfalls, bookshelf. Throwing in some TLC from the early 90s. They kind of have a reason to not like Japan. China harassed Tibet as well. I would love to go and visit the Himalayas. I think that would be a beautiful, I would live there, but I would love to visit maybe a month or so. Marty, Japan looks beautiful. I agree with that statement. I think I would love to go to Japan. I think there's something clean about Japan. I mean, even their toilets, public toilets are clean. Always has fresh food and quality control. There you go, Megatron. Rad, there's 2 channels on Rumble with your name. Yes, both of them. I got to go into Rumble and do some things. Get the one that's got more subscribers or something. Yeah, that's the one thing well said, WHO. That's the one thing Japan has Godzilla. That's the one thing I'm going to rent for a month. Every place I go, I'm going to go month to month. If I don't like it, I can stay another couple weeks, beat it, go to Guatemala, go to Honduras, go down to Ecuador, Panama, Peru, and just make my way. And guess what? Here's the great thing. Christian says, learn more and enjoy more. If you don't like it, you can always go back to your country. Now, what happens if you go back to your country? Would getting in a van be cool? I don't think I'd have a problem living in a van and traveling all of the US, Canada, Alaska. I've been to Alaska several times. I've been to Canada several times. And just visiting friends and visiting areas and living out of a van. Kind of similar, but in your own country. Since I miss the old days, you should wear that Clark Kent glasses of yours to create that classy atmosphere. Attaboy. I'll do it for you next time. The Fuji hike is a must. Is Fuji north? I mean, True Blood is basically van lifing and getting paid for it by driving a semi. Lives out of a semi. Be a perpetual tourist and border hop. That's what we're talking about. Hold on one second. Hold on, guys. I'm going to cut this off in a few minutes. Be a perpetual tourist and border hop. If you have a steady source of income while abroad, then find somewhere to settle after you get burnt out. Well said. Well said, Will. Gerald says, where are we at here? Maybe we can chase the abominable snow women. They might exist. Yeah, Rod, you have to visit Egypt. I'm glad I learned a little Arabic before I went. Some of the local men and women helped. Yeah, I remember you speaking, and you sounded great. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate you being here and being part of the gang. We like talking all sorts of things. How far up Fuji can you go? Oh, that sounds fun. My dream is to see Japan before I kick my boots. Attaboy, Marty. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Spain, visit. I don't want to live there, but I'd like to visit that area. Maybe spend 6 weeks, just get a Eurorail pass. Me too, BJ. Well, let's all go to Japan together and see Godzilla. Free slave mine. Rad, did you see any? Yes. Guatemala had Skittles. Mexico had Skittles. Colombia. Yes, they're everywhere. Number 1 clean country in the world is Singapore. Maybe number 2 is Japan. I saw even ashtrays strapped on arms on the streets on Japanese people. Interesting. I have heard Singapore is dope as well. Wait, Christian, if I get out to Norway, we'll have to hang out in your BMW and go pick up some ladies like Beavis and Butthead. There you go. We're just having a good time, Simone. There's Gone with John's on Rumble. They do a cruise to Japan from Alaska. It takes 11. Ooh, that sounds kind of fun. I'll have to check that out, brother. East of Tokyo. Gotcha. It'll tell you how. I've heard Japanese beaches are pretty nice too. For Westerners, they might find South Korea kind of cold culture. Clown World. I kind of have a desire to see South Korea, and I love their food, and I think it'd be fun to go visit. I heard it's expensive as hell. I don't think most countries allow you to pack heat, Mysterio. It snows in Japan. Didn't they have the Winter Olympics out there one time? All right, Phil. Appreciate you being here. There's my Rumble. Appreciate it. Beefcake is back from the UK. Good to see you again. Blaster. Go where men are seen as human. Couldn't agree more. Definitely be well informed of terrorism and danger. Yes. I had a brother-in-law. He went to Pakistan, and he got detained. I mean, you can end up, just like you said, Stephen, without a head. Riggs Jr., don't let Brandon back in Japan. He's gassing out rodents and set in Chinese restaurant. There you go. Be careful. Shout out to everybody being here. Let's see. What does FJT said? When I was in China, you should have seen groups of random Chinese people asking to take pictures with me. Because you stood out. You were the Chad. You're FJT Chad, 6'8". We'll have to do a live podcast, absolutely. So here's one more thing. Good shout out to Shinobi. Appreciate you being here. One more other tip. The Charles Schwab checking account has free ATM withdrawals wherever you go. I just got one, 6 months ago. So wherever you go in the world, your ATM charges are reimbursed. Those are some of the things that you got to think about. Because if you keep going to an ATM machine, they charge you $3-5. That can add up very quick. Stay under the radar, says Bookshelf. Well said. Don't travel crazy hours. Stay out of the limelight. That's well said. Mike P's back. I don't know if I want to retire in another country. Well, it's not up. Not everybody wants to do that. FJT 614. He's looks maxing. Guys, if you need looks maxing advice, go to FJT. When he was in the Black Pill forum, they got mad at him because he was too attractive. East Asian countries, there's lots of beautiful women, but many are after money. Yes. If you're going for women, you're an idiot. Don't get drunk in another country. I think that's solid advice. Solid advice. You don't know what'll happen. Schwab will cancel you or convert it to an international account if you have enough money invested. It's not perpetual, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't used it yet. Very xenophobic, probably. Cambodia, I heard, is kind of like Thailand. I heard it's really nice. Not a lot of people go there. But again, Cambodian culture and food and language, I don't know. That's the only problem. That would take a challenge, and I'd have to visit it. Seeing women overseas in feminine dresses, thin, cooking, and trad will blow your mind if you've only seen Western beasts. You're not wrong, Blaster. I like that tip. Yeah, check out Charles. It's the international. Ask Carl more about it. But I got one. I only put like $1,000 in it, and I'm going to see how it works. But apparently, a lot of people talk about that. Strive for your own paradise. It's possible. Yeah, that's another thing. You don't have to go somewhere else. You can live wherever you're at and find that. To me, I'm looking forward to visiting and seeing and living and being a part of something that I've never been a part of. And I can do it now. Female nature is worldwide. Pete says, which country would you want to be in if you got really sick? Mexico's got some really good healthcare. Colombia's got great healthcare. Thailand would probably be the place I would like to be. I think they have one of the best healthcare systems, and I am in healthcare. They use a lot of European technology. Their doctors are typically European or U.S. trained, and the prices are very well, very, very affordable. Western men are the world's highest value dudes living with the world's lowest value women. Paralysis by analysis. Lay that down at Chinatown. Thank you for being here. And I think you're absolutely 100% right. Um, yeah, but we get guys got to be careful. I live by a bunch of Chinese women, and they said that they came here for money, but America isn't all that great because it's constant hustle. Yeah, America's cold in a lot of ways. We're looking for the mighty dollar, materialism. Women want more things and more things and more things. It's a materialistic, consumeristic economy we live in. Oh, Wise Card. Gotcha. John. There's a few places that have different sort of currency ways to get currency on the cheap. For those interested in retiring in Thailand, Retired Living the Dream will do an hour or more consultation for $10. Well worth it. Has been there for 11 years. Interesting. I'll check that out, Carl. Thailand, Japan. Yep. If I got sick today and I had no insurance, I'd fly to Thailand. Rad for president. Hell no. I got to fly under the radar. No matter where you go, there you are. My dad used to say that. No matter where you go, son, there you are. I've traveled the world and seen the lands I love mine the most. If I had somewhere else, I might have stayed. Tell you what, government everywhere suck. New Zealand, I heard, is beautiful. My sister married a guy from Hamilton. I think if I was going to retire, Germany would be nice, but too many migrants there, not safe. Go to countries that aren't on people's radar. Get into gardens, food, and accomplishment. Yeah. Growing plant. I got a nice plant that's been alive for 2 years. I'm impressed with myself. You could retire somewhere in the north, in the south, drink beer all the time. German chicks are cute. Mike P. Well said. I don't. Ich bin steif, du bist Schlampe. I don't know, Sotenar. Average weight of American woman, 170.5 and climbing. And remember, and climbing. The president of Mexico is a woman now. Watch the claps. Well, the woman's going to be taken over by a few men with clandestine industries, if you know what I mean. After 25 females in the East, those East countries are called leftover women for a reason. German and French girls, all milk colored. Interesting. Yep. Don't believe the stories from the women in Bangkok. We knew that materialism would put an end. We sure did. Thailand would be so bad if we knew how to stay safe. Limited the time I spent online. Yeah, we got to spend less time online. Marty, Northern Ireland, know a little wee bit Irish. I wouldn't mind visiting Ireland too. When I was in Thailand, I see a doctor. My total bill is $6. Yep. You can get a crown in Guatemala for $120. You know how much it is here? $1,500. I never thought Thailand has a very good healthcare. I heard a rumor, but back in the old days, Thailand was no. It's got great healthcare. Great. Maybe back then. Yep. SCE, right on. Mexico is cheap. You can get in and out quick. A lot of their doctors are U.S. and European trained. So, unfortunately, I'm no Gallagher, unfortunately. Interesting. Good to know about that hospital. I recommend Dr. Rosie for dental work in Tolos. Tell her John sent you. There you go. Mexico's got some good stuff. I mean, it's 70% cheaper. I think Brandon just got some work done. Why don't you put your storage where your parents live? Because they're going to die soon. 5 years, 8 years. They'll probably have to move out. I might give it to let my sister take care of it. Japan would be great if you spoke Japanese. Absolutely. Would love to go to Ireland. I got ancestors there. There you go. You guys, this has been a great chat. We'll resume it the next time. And until then, rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, and men first. I'm out.